Have you ever seen how a wild hamster hoards food? Because I spent more than 3 years filming wild hamsters, I can show you. This is me, David. I'm a nature filmmaker and wildlife explorer. Today I'm on a hamster field observing the harvest. The yield is not only important for the farmer, it provides the basis for our food. At the same time, the harvest is probably the biggest change in the life of a common hamster. It is not only the large, heavy and fast machines that are a danger to the hamsters. Within a very short range of time, an entire ecosystem disappears. All of a sudden, the common hamster is completely exposed to its predators due to the harvested cover. Because of the effectiveness of today's harvesting technology, hamsters can now hardly find any food, even for the important winter supplies. It is therefore not uncommon for hamsters to starve to death in winter. The switch from summer to winter cereals leads to even earlier harvests, and the climate crisis is exacerbating this effect due to heat and drought. For the common hamster and other field animals, the abrupt change in their habitat means a real harvest shock. And it is also strange for me to suddenly see the common hamster field like this again. Mice in particular, which have their burrows much closer to the soil surface than hamsters, are directly and immediately affected by the measures taken during and after the harvest. Many therefore do not survive the tillage. I am anxious to see how the hamsters have survived the harvest. And indeed, I find this head of a still small young hamster in the immediate vicinity of a drop tube. It has either fallen victim to predation or the harvesting machine. I walk round the known burrows with growing concern. After the harvest, I also have to orientate myself in the field again and find the various burrows under the straw. The way of farming increases predation pressure, as is the case with this black hamster. It cannot be denied that our modern agriculture is in many ways partly responsible for the current biodiversity crisis, and yet nobody seems to want to systematically change its structure. If we can't protect nature for its own sake, why don't we at least realize that we need it in its functionality just as much to survive as food production? If we do not fundamentally change this attitude, we will be destroying our own livelihood in the long term. Huge fields with monocultures, which are plucked up immediately after the harvest, deprive the hamster of food and cover. A small ray of hope for me are protective measures such as stubble rest, in which the stalks remain at least 30 centimeters high and thus provide important cover from predators. Non-harvesting stripes provide additional cover until the start of the hibernation period, and also food for the hamster's important reserves. This is exactly the kind of approach that is needed across the board. There could be an opportunity to tackle the problem. But they will only work if farmers are adequately compensated for the services to nature and society. Common hamster protection can only be successfully implemented in cooperation with the farmers. I am convinced of that. At the moment, however, we are dependent on committed individuals and farms. With the days getting shorter and the end of the mating season, the typical hamstering has now begun, as with this not yet fully grown animal. In the field, the sub-adult hamster is looking for supplies for the winter. Common hamsters need to store at least between 1 and 1.5 kilograms to survive the winter. This corresponds to 2 to 4 times the body size of an adult hamster before hibernation. A hamster can carry around 60 grams of grain in the burrow in one go. I can observe the common hamster from the edge of the field. They mainly collect storable supplies that won't rot underground. This is grain, of course, but also maize grains and plant seeds. Maize grains from the neighboring field are scattered among the stubble. Like a small hoover, this young hamster collects every grain of maize it can find. It seems that the hamster finds the corn kernels mainly by smell. The supplies cannot be big enough for the common hamster. This corn on the cob seems like a jackpot. The only remaining question is how to get it into the burrow. Common hamster have a special strategy for hibernation. Although they lower their body temperature to between 4 and 2 degrees Celsius and significantly reduce their metabolism, they interrupt their sleep every 5 to 14 days to eat from their stored food reserves. Preparing for winter also involves building up fat reserves. Whether the hamster find enough food for the winter also depends very much on the type of farming. Field animals often no longer find sufficient food in the fields. Nesting material is also collected before winter. This hamster has developed a particular interest in my camouflaged, remote-controlled camera. He tries in vain to pull the net into his burrow again and again, but without success.